Didn't you during COVID put some stuff, like you put some fights in your backyard? Didn't you do so? Well,
so we had about 8 fight shows booked. We paid for the venues, the flights, the hotels, everything. And then COVID hits and the government says, right, all live sports events cancelled. I'm like, what? We've got all our dates with our broadcaster to be fulfilled, right? We've got no arenas you can go to. And this is our office, actually, our head office. This is it's my old house, where I lived there from the age of 4.
Is this the house that your dad bought for $200,000? I read somewhere.
£200,000. Yeah.
£200,000. It's like $20 million.
Yeah. So leading up there's some stairs, right, just by the bottom windows. And I sat on those stairs during COVID and I was like, what the fuck are we going to do? And I looked at the lawn and I was like, we're going to do it here. And they were like, what? And I said, I'm going to create Fight Camp. And I said to my dad, Dad, we're going to build Fight Camp in the garden. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, we're going to have an arena in the garden and we're going to hire the hotel down the road, which is out of business. We're going to put the bubble in there. We're going to put testing in there. We're going to isolate everyone in the room. And once they've passed their tests, we're going to ferry them up to the hotel and fight here. And we ran this for 4 weeks, right? It was the most unbelievable thing you will ever see. It completely changed.
How many people would be there, by the way?
No one was allowed.
It's just the fight.
Yeah, only the people in the bubble. The next year, it was so big, the event, Fight Camp, I did it again the next year. And I allowed 600 people a night into the garden. We sell tickets. The unique private experience within the garden to watch Fight Camp live. But the reality was, this is what
you're joking. This is the backyard.
This is the ring walk for the backyard. Pyrotechnics, right?
And where are you selling this fight?
All around the world.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, there was a couple of pay-per-view events within the 4-week period. But don't forget, you're going to the broadcaster and saying, right, I owe you 4 shows, 5 shows within our contract term. I can't deliver them. But I can now because I've built this fucking arena in my garden and we're going to do it from
How
my
do they
garden.
feel about it?
They loved it because there's no live sport. You know, all the other sports just closed down. They went, well, we can't do anything at the moment till...
Are you and Dana talking at that time or not at all?
A little bit. I think it probably got his attention a little bit.
So you did it first?
Yeah. Oh, I did this before the Apex.
So and by the way, you didn't just do it anywhere. You didn't do this in Florida or Texas. You did this in UK.
Yeah.
How did they feel about it that you're doing this? Did they give you a hard time? Would they show up? Would security show up? Would UK, the politics?
I mean, yeah, no, we followed the rules. So, you know, the rules were that you could do behind doors closed events, right? But no crowd. But you had to do testing. You had to put people in isolation until you got their test results. You had to keep them in a bubble.
Would they send to watch you? Were they kind of...
Yeah, the council would come down, make sure everything's in order, masks are being
Did anybody try to get in your way or they were supportive? If you did it the right way, they didn't bother you?
I think there were a few neighbours around who were like, what is going on here?
I'm assuming this is a high-end community, the neighborhood.
Yeah, but so. But also I was saying to the area, Brentwood, right? Guys, you've got an international sports event taking place in Brentwood. You've never had anything in your life. The whole world is watching Brentwood right now. Stop moaning and just buy the pay-per-view. And
how much you spent on this on the backyard? The whole thing, just for the setup?
About £2 million.
£2 million?
Yeah.
So at the time, what would that be in US dollars?
$3 million.
So you spent $3 million. So was it rental or did you buy?
No, we built this structure.
So it's still there right now.
No, it's taken down.
Where did you put it? What did you do with all the equipment?
It just gets taken away. So you're hiring the truss, you're building the truss. There's probably some better pictures as well.
You had the other one was really clean, Rob. You had one that was really clean.
Put Fight Camp Matchroom or Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, I mean that's a big AV. You got rigging, you got the That's sick.
But like you like the power, what that did for our business was that got the attention because COVID was a global issue. This got look at that. This got so much exposure globally, and of course when people say it was in your back garden, like that was even, because after this, eventually we went to an arena and we just hired an arena and did it behind closed doors. Fucking could be in the middle, it could be anywhere, right? But this was the first thing that we did.
Is there people there, Rob? Do I see people?
Yeah, this was year 2.
Now you can do it.
Now I sold tickets, which I didn't like because I got randoms in my garden drinking. We had this, we had pizza stands, taco stands. We got all the champagne bars, and I'm like, don't get me wrong. For a fight fan, it was like a once in a lifetime experience, but it was a bit weird for us because it was like, this is my house and my head office.
This is wild at a time like that to make sure while everybody else is scared shitless.
It was a wild time that, what is it he said? One of the rules that my dad said, I don't know, it's number 6 or 7, which was,
Which one?
I can't remember it, but there was definitely something. Look, here we go. This is the build, right? This is the year 2, so that's the hospitality tent at the back. We had DJs in there, all champagne bars, and
this is beautiful. Where is this, by the way?
Brentwood in Essex.
Wow.
It's about 15 miles outside of London.
Is this all in one? This is day 3 or day? Are you already?
So it takes about a week or so to build it.
Got it. So when it gets darker, rain,
and this is summer, by the way. Right, so then it starts raining, and we're like thinking, "What is going on here?"
Yeah, we just had our thing that we did at in our hangar, and it was pouring. And at the moment people started showing up, we're like, "There's a 75% chance it's raining." Guess what happens? Stops raining.
Yeah,
and that's wild, man. So Eddie, next, what's the next big thing? If you were to say some big fights. By the way, do you watch UFC or no?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you like it? Do you love it, or you just kind of watch it?
I've been to a couple with Dana. Kindly got me. I think it's compelling. I think it's. I think it's just a tremendous product. I'm very jealous of almost like the control they have over their talent, where it's like you sign a central contract and it's like, right, you are fighting him on November 30th. See you there, and your money's already there. With us, it's an individual negotiation for every fight, and it's incredible. I know.
That he is.
That's why the business is so good.
Do you think because the way boxing is fragmented, it can't compete with the UFC? The way
I
UFC?
feel like boxing already competes with the UFC. Like, but people talk about boxing's dead. There's nothing like a big fight. Like in terms of the interest it generates, the numbers it can generate as well. Boxing is so historic globally. And, that's really the plan for us as a business.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me, and he read the book. And afterwards, is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. Well, when you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at the society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed your order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm going to put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey, and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.